Hey, cows! Hey, cows!
Bale grazing is a winter feeding method where hay bales are strategically positioned throughout a field, allowing animals to feed directly on site. This low-input approach minimizes the need for machinery and manual labor, while also contributing to healthier soils. One of its biggest advantages is improved water holding capacity, an important aspect in building climate resilience and buffering against increasingly erratic weather patterns.
My name's Josh Stobbe and we have a cattle operation. A lot of our market is selling calves into the auction, but we do raise bulls and replacement heifers as well. This last year we grazed the animals that we have on about 140 acres, intensively grazed. The better the forage is coming into the fall, the longer we can graze. The taller it is, the longer we can graze. And then we just have to make a call at some point in time as the snow gets too deep. So we'll start bale grazing probably between mid-November and early December. We've tried lots of different methods of bale grazing. We've put them out in grids, moved them every day or every few days. And that's worked okay, but it doesn't seem to be as efficient for the soil health or for the cows if we place the bales more strategically. Then we actually get a little bit more soil health benefits spread out exactly where we need them rather than just blanketing a whole big area. If we cover 10 or 15 acres per winter, we really want to maximize where those acres are and put that organic matter exactly where we want it to be.
So I've put the bales here so that we have shelter from the north and the east, so the cows have a little bit of a better place to be out of the wind, to be a little bit more feed efficient. As well as the soil here is fairly poor along this edge, and so I'm looking to improve that as well.
The wind chill factor acts the same as a cold factor for how much the animals actually have to consume to stay warm. And so if they're putting feed into staying warm from the wind being cold, then we're losing feed. The next biggest factor is knowing in the summertime where the poor soil is, and then we'll just feed in the closest location, mixing those two factors together, where the trees are for shelter and then where the poorest soil is next to those trees.
While Josh is clearly observing plenty of anecdotal evidence supporting the benefits of bale grazing, he brought in an expert to validate some of what he is seeing on the ground.
In 2023, we had a soil food web consultant come in and we looked at a bunch of soil samples from bale grazing and beside the bale grazing with a microscope, and we could see a fairly different level of carbon within that bale grazing area, a lot deeper than I would have actually expected, 6 inches down even. And then the level of biological bacteria and nematode activity in that bale grazing area was quite a bit higher.
Bale grazing has many benefits, but one of the most important in BC's Peace region is its ability to enhance water holding capacity. The area has seen increasing drought conditions over the last number of years, and bale grazing is showing promise as a technique to help retain moisture for pasture productivity.
During the last few years, we've had fairly dry years, and so having a representation of what the difference is where we have a bale compared to where we don't have a bale is quite significant. 2 years ago, we had some bales and we had probably 4 or 5 times as much forage on each place that we had the bales. First time we had okay grazing, but then as the summer went on and it was very dry, there was almost no regrowth anywhere but where those bales were. And so we had a lot of actual days of value in grass on those areas. Being able to see an actual increase in growth is my biggest measure that it's being beneficial.
Between 2015 and 2018, the Peace Country Beef and Forage Association conducted a 3-year on-farm study to determine the effects of several different methods of pasture rejuvenation. For example, subsoiling, break and reseeding, pasture rest, mob grazing, and fertilizer application, to name a few. In this study, bale grazing consistently came up as one of the top methods to improve soil health and therefore forage stands.
So my name is Blasius Azunwi. I work at the Peace Country Beef and Forage Association as a research scientist. PCBFA has been trying methods of rejuvenating pasture to see which of them are practical, which are economical, and which can be sustainable. Bale grazing actually came out as one of the top methods of pasture rejuvenation. We saw improvements in soil organic matter with almost a 10 to 15% increase in organic matter. We also found great improvement in all the major nutrients in the soil. So in terms of nitrogen, in terms of phosphorus, in terms of potassium, we saw great improvements on the soil methods where we had bale grazing. On compaction, after the 3 years of the study, the compaction was really better on our bale grazing site. So in terms of forage yield, bale grazing produced twice more than the control. In terms of water infiltration, bale grazing was second position with about 0.7 inches per hour. And you can compare this with the check, which could infiltrate just about 0.1 inches of water per hour. With the bale grazing, the organic matter content of the soil is improved, and with that, soil aggregate is also improved. You have more pores, and then you have more of the water going down.
I'm Rob Larson, and with my partner Bobby Joe, we are the owners of Pure Pasture Regenerative Farm. We're mainly raising grass-fed cattle, goats, sheep. We also have some free-range pigs and do a few chickens and turkeys. We have about 100 cows and yearlings, and most of what we do in the wintertime is bale grazing. I have done traditional feeding conventionally, where we would bring the animals into a feed yard and feed them there. It's more labor involved and more usage of equipment because we're hauling the feed out to animals and then also having to haul the manure and whatnot back out into the fields later. Whereas bale grazing, everything stays where it belongs. The main reason we bale graze is to return the nutrients back into the soil and to build organic matter, and also less cost involved with having to run equipment during the winter, which is harder on the equipment, and being able to let the cows do the work. We have several different methods of bale grazing. So one way is wherever we harvest the hay, we will move the cows to the bales, setting up electric fence so that they have couple weeks worth of feed, and then after they've eaten that, we move them to the next portion of bales. The second way we do it is bringing in bales to a landscape where it looks like it's degraded and we need to add organic matter.
So this is the one method that we use of bale grazing, where we're bringing the bales in the fall, placing them in close proximity to each other, and then moving the fence about every 10 days to 2 weeks across the field till they're all gone. So we are just using temporary electric fence to divide the bales up. As you can see here, I've just stuck it into the post into a bale because I don't have to deal with frozen ground. These cows are well trained, so I'm only getting away with one wire. Sometimes we have used 2 wires where we'll have a hot wire on the top and then a ground wire just a few inches below.
It's the evidence we're seeing from bale grazing has been a lot more darker vegetation growing and more volume, as well as just in general a variety of species being able to establish.
While both producers are seeing the many benefits this practice provides, there can be some challenges.
Some of the challenges with bale grazing are, number one, wildlife. If you have wildlife pressure, you can't put the bales out in the fall because they'll find them. If you're very tight on feed and you only have enough rationed so that there's exact amount to get through the winter, you're not allowing for any residue, and then it wouldn't work in that situation. And there is ways of getting around that, even with the wildlife pressure, maybe not necessarily putting all the bales out in the fall, placing some just a few days ahead of time or a couple weeks ahead of time. Bale grazing definitely helps build up resilience to drought. It is a long process though, because you can only cover so many acres, but you're returning the nutrients you're taking, most of the nutrients you're taking off the field without having to add synthetics. So for me, that's the most important thing, is to have a cycle going back into the soil.
The bale grazing allows me to feed for multiple days at a time, so I'm not out here every day trying to feed the cows, starting tractors and spending time doing that. I can spend time with my family, I can spend time being away from here, visiting other people, and to be actually as sustainable as possible for as long as possible.